So it's been a year since the AI teammates got released into Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and today we're going to talk about an issue that is still present since launch regarding the order commands we can give to AI teammates. As you can see, I'm telling them to get to this location, and they do head over there. But as soon as they reach it, something triggers them to ignore the command and find a spot for themselves. For lack of a better term, throughout the course of this video, we'll call it code override. Now I did find a workaround for this, but it's up to Ubisoft to actually fix it, if they care, or if enough people care. Because if the majority of the people only use the AI teammates for sink shots and cleared hot, they probably don't deal with this. But for those who prefer to use them tactical, which Ubisoft claims to be possible in their trailers, this video is for us. So please share this video in the proper channels and let's hope Ubisoft provides a fix. Now before we dive deeper into this issue, I would love to share a workaround to get the AI teammates to actually listen and not wander off. So what we need to do is find the location where the code override doesn't take place. And one of those places is higher ground where they can't come down from and has no nearby cover. For example, this rooftop. Now to have them access this location in the first place, we have to use the regroup command.
I need you at my location.
To speed up this process, don't look at them, send your drone out for a couple seconds and they will spawn behind you. Turn around and they're right there. Now as you can see, there's clearly enemy presence, but since there's no cover nearby and they're basically stuck on this roof, there's nowhere for them to randomly run around. So they actually listen to my command without any code override taking place right after.
I need you to sit in over there.
Got it. We're heading there now.
So I can send them to this spot, they'll actually listen and stay in place. To test this out further, I send them to the edge of the rooftop that has a chimney-like structure nearby. One of the AI teammates recognizes this as cover and takes place behind it. But since there are no other ones nearby, the other two teammates stick around instead of finding their own place to take cover behind, which is exactly what we want in this scenario, stick together. I even have more control over the sink shots now. Normally they would find their own place to take the shot from, but because of all the circumstances of the rooftop, they will take the shot from wherever I position them. I'll show some more examples in a minute.
I'll step down, Ghostly.
Good hits.
I've now sent them to the other side of the rooftop and will demonstrate how even the hold command works perfectly. I'll tell them to hold while I'll leave the rooftop and take down some enemies, and to actually listen and hold in place.
You're good where you are. Hold.
We'll hold here.
So again, due to the circumstances of that rooftop, I can now take advantage of the fact that they don't jump down or climb down from higher ground, not on their own and not even from a go-to command. The only way I can get them down is to use the regroup command, preferably while phasing away, like I mentioned earlier, to get them to spawn behind me.
Regroup on me.
Now somehow they have the ability to walk up this building, but I guess that's another story, another video. As I turned around, one of my air teammates was already spawned behind me, but the other two were still approaching me while having their eyes on the enemy, which is why it took them a little longer. But the same mechanics still apply on this higher ground structure. No place for cover, no place for roaming around, so no code override, which again means that my commands won't get ignored and they'll take the sink shots from wherever I tell them to.
Okay, Ghostly. We're clear.
Rock and roll. Find a good spot over there.
Copy. On our way. Getting in position. Good to go.
Damn!
I'll step down, Ghostly.
Good hits.
And now back to reality. Because we aren't always on top of a building, so let's see how the go-to command actually works. As you can see, when they approach the location I gave them, the so-called code override takes place, and they find another location to take cover behind on their own, causing me to completely lose control over them. One even climbs on top of a box, which means that my go-to command won't work anymore. As I stated earlier, once they are on top of a structure, you can't use the go command anymore. You have to use the regroup command to gain back control, only to lose it again right after.
Roger that. We'll move into you.
I need you to sit in over there.
We're moving there now.
Get to that new position. Over there.
So at this point I'm telling them to hide behind this structure. And just like earlier, they do approach it, but as soon as they get there, something in the code is telling them to ignore that location and find another one. I really don't understand the logic behind this. Because it's not like the game is trying to imply that they will get spotted at that location and finds me a better one. No, it simply finds another one. And the problem with that is, I lose control. And not only do I lose control, well, I could show you better than I can tell you. Just keep an eye on this AI teammate and look where he takes cover. He hides behind a barrel. Keep in mind, my command to hide behind that structure, which is perfectly safe, got ignored because they wanted to randomly find another spot and he wanted to hide behind that barrel. I just can't make sense of this. Why even give us those commands if they will get ignored anyway? Clearly this needs to be removed from the game because this is the result of that.
HVT's trying to escape.
Now there are a couple enemies inside this building and I want to plan a tactical approach. So I want the AI teammates to stand at this location, but as soon as they reach it, they wander off again. Even the hold command doesn't stop them. So one randomly runs into the building, one stands outside of the building, and one for some reason climbed on top of this container. Now the one that was standing outside of the building is now creeping in. I had no idea at this point why that was, so I went to check it out. Turns out that the audio dropped and there's a full-on firefight going on inside. Now again, keep in mind, all this is happening because they ignore my commands. I told them to stand outside of the building, hold right there.
One of them up.
I am Ghost Lead. Why is there an override taking place? What's the point of giving me access to these commands if they don't work? Go to has an override. Regroup has an override. Hold has an override. What is the point of having these commands if an override is going to take place right after? Now some would think that maybe because there are 3 AI teammates, they are designed to find 3 separate covers, which is why they ignore the location I give them. But this sadly couldn't be further from being true, because now I only have 1 AI teammate active, and it still happens. I tell them to go to a location, they'll approach it, I'll even tell them to hold, they'll completely ignore that, and go back to another location.
Get to that new position. Over there.
They're moving.
Hold positions.
Now this is when it starts to make even less sense than before. Since I noticed that he favors that spot, I thought, okay, what is going to happen if I send you to that spot that you clearly favor? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So he will ignore the command to go at that location simply because I told him to. Because when I told him to go to the previous location, he clearly showed that he favored that spot. But when I told him to go there, he ignores it. So is the game designed to simply ignore my command? So to confirm that I was not the one going crazy, I sent him to the spot where I wanted to go to initially to see if he would go back to the spot that he favored clearly, but ignored when I told him to go there. And he actually did. I personally really don't see how this is still acceptable. The AI teammates got released last year, but this issue has been around since Wildlands. Wildlands came out in March 7th, 2017. I am recording this video on July the 22nd, 2021, which means that this issue has been ignored for 4 years. Why is this still not a part of your known issues list? So I need your help, because I'm just a regular guy with 30 subscribers. If you want to see change, share this video wherever you can, post it on Twitter, post it on Reddit, post it on the Ubisoft forums, share it with your Discord communities. Leave a like on the video so it can reach more people, because there is power in numbers. Other than that, subscribe to my channel and I promise to strive towards being a valuable voice in the community. Thanks for watching. Peace.